Hey guys, told you I'll be back. This is DollFaceTrucker. I told you guys I'll be back at noon to tell you guys about my first 30 days lit nights. Yay! My first month. I'm happy, I'm excited, I am thankful. I don't like this lighting. There's too much going on over here. Let's see, how can I fix that? I don't know how I'll fix it. I guess leave my hand like this. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. So, my first 30 days at night transportation has been fun, challenging, but fun, to say the least. Alright. I think that might work. I think. Yeah, so I tested out on May 28th or sometime like the last week of May, and for the test what they do is you just go through your pre-trip. The instructor wants to know that you know how to manage the truck, maneuver the truck, you know, drive. They want to know that you can operate their vehicle. So I started out with doing my pre-trip. He wanted me to skip all the, you know, minor stuff and get to the major stuff, like what do you really check for when you're doing your pre-trip and why. And I had to explain what I'm checking for and why I'm checking for it. And then after that, he had me couple and uncouple to a trailer. Then after that, he had me demonstrate or even explain the air brakes test and why that's important. And then after that, we did the road test. It was very important to read off your signs, your Smith training basically. Read off all the signs that you're passing, what you're looking at, why you're looking at it, the speed limit. If you go over the speed limit even 1 mile, it's an automatic fail. And if you're in a construction zone, you make sure you go 55 miles per hour. And then we got back to the yard. And don't go over any curves when you're turning. Once we got back to the yard, he had me back in. I backed in totally awesome, like no pull-ups. I totally just backed in, no pull-ups. I was perfect. And thank you. And after that, he basically said I passed with flying colors. And then when they were waiting to get the fleet, what is it called? The fleet wash, to come wash all the trucks that they have like every week. And so they came to wash my truck. I asked, they originally assigned me a Volvo, and I'm like, you know, I know beggars can't be choosers, but can I get like a Freightliner or an International? And they put me in a Freightliner. Once it was ready, I came to the terminal. They gave me a tractor interchange form. I have it, but it's put up in my file cabinet in the back, so I'm not gonna bring it out right now. But basically, if you did the driver qualification process, then you know what I'm talking about. But if not, it basically has like a diagram of the tractor. You put all your name, miles, driver code, all that, and then you walk around the tractor. Basically, do a extended pre-trip. You want to make sure that if there's any damages, anything wrong with the tractor trailer, the tractor, look under the hood, check everything on the inside, and you mark it on that tractor to change form. That's good for, I believe, 2 reasons. One is if anything's wrong, they can fix it and get you on your way. And if it's not any, if there's any damages or anything like that, then they won't blame you for it. Like there's a gash on my bumper and a chipped paint on the hood, so I put that on there. So if anything was to happen, if I left the company or something and somebody else got into the truck, it's already noted that it's there, and they're not gonna blame me for it and put it on my DAC report. So as soon as I did that and turned it in, I met with my DM. We went into the conference room. He introduced himself and told me Gave me his number and his hours that he works, and let him know if I need him anytime, I'll call him, and asked me when I was ready to go out and where I want to go. I told him I want to go all 48 states. I want to travel all over, and I'm ready to go by early tomorrow morning. So I got my first load. It went to Utah, and I was nervous, but it was pretty cool. It was at Amazon, I believe, if I can remember correctly. And about a week later, I ended up in California, and I didn't slide my tandems forward. Yeah, I didn't slide my tandems forward. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm not going to pull it out, but you have to check your permit book. Get your permit book, take it to your DDM, and make sure that, you know, all your permits are up to date. On the Night app, KT Mobile, on the App Store, the app that we have, it has all the permits there too. It tells you how to organize your permit book. But you can take it to your DDM, and they will make sure you have all your permits and everything. So that's very, very important, like very important. You have to have that. Make sure your permit book is up to date. So I ended up in California. I didn't slide my tandems forward. They were all the way backward. And I ended up turning a corner, and I went over a pole. Okay, so it's one of those small turning poles. It's about the size of, it's about 8 to 10 feet tall. And the pole itself is like that big. And I was turning a corner, and I couldn't understand why, like the whole day I was turning the corners, and I was like damn near going over curves. I'm like, I know how to turn corners. It's not hard. So I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. And I eventually turned this one corner, trying to go into the mall, the truck route for the mall. I was turning the corner, and I knew that I had to go over the curve, because there was not an option to go over the double yellow line. There was not a double yellow line. And the island was like really tall and thick and like high, so I wouldn't have been able to go over the island. So I had no choice but to go over the curve. So I was paying attention to the curve, and I went over the curve, but the pole was so small, like I didn't even notice the pole, and I ended up knocking the pole over. I didn't break it. It screws into the ground, literally, like you could screw it into the ground. And then I ended up parking in the parking lot. So I'm going into the store. I used the bathroom, because that day I had to sleep at the shipper, so I needed to use the bathroom, get coffee, food, whatever. And once I came out, I was like, dang, it was really hard turning and getting into this mall parking lot. So I need help. I don't know if I'll be able to get out. So I walk out, and I see an officer on a bike, and a motorcycle officer, and I'm like, can you help me get out, because I don't think I'll be able to make it. He was like, sure. And he was like, is that you? And I'm like, yeah. And basically he was called because somebody said that a night truck hit the pole and ran it over, and he's investigating it, right? And I'm like, I didn't run over a pole. I know I went over a curve, but I didn't run over a pole. He was like, well, that's what I'm here to investigate, so let's go look at it. Well, he was like, I'm gonna go look at it. And I'm like, well, I'll go with you, because I don't think I ran over a pole, but I will go with you to see if I did or not. And sure enough, I did. And then we're walking back to the truck. I was like, am I in trouble? And he was like, no, you're not in trouble. I'll just write a report, but you're not in trouble. He said if you would have left, then it would have been a hit and run. And when he said that, I automatically started bawling. I was crying. I ended up calling safety. I'm on the phone crying with them. And then my DDM calls, or I call him, and he's like chastising me. And he was like, you know better. And then, see, I didn't update my permit book, right? So I didn't have any insurance. My insurance was active. My DM sent me a copy of it, but I didn't have it in my permit book. So he could have wrote me a ticket for that. And I'm in California, so, you know, they're like big on that. So I was crying, and he was like, you know, things happen, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that happened, and I forfeited my bonus for that month, because you can't have any accidents. And They just put the pole back in and screwed it in. I didn't break it or anything. I didn't, you know, break anything. So that was good. That was on June 5th. And by June 5th, my bonus is already at like $300 and something. So can you imagine like today what it would have been if I wouldn't have gotten into the accident? Then, so after I leave and get out, it was so hard getting out of that parking lot. I got out and I'm getting ready to get on the highway. And at the entrance of the on-ramp of the highway, a car stalled there because she got in an accident. Highway patrol was there. She's blocking the lane to get on the on-ramp. I'm already having trouble turning corners, and I'm afraid I'm going to hit this lady's car. I was so scared. I'm like, I cannot hit her in front of the cops, right? So I eventually was able to get on the highway without hitting anybody, and I'm driving down the highway, nervous, scared. They told me to come back to Vegas, come back to the yard since you got in an accident. So now I'm like, am I gonna get fired? Then I'm thinking like, what other trucking companies are gonna hire me because I got in an accident the first 5 days on the road, and what am I gonna do? And I don't want to go back to Uber. Like, I was just thinking the worst, right? And then this driver is like flagging me down on the freeway. So we're driving down the highway, and I roll my window down. He rolls his window down. He's like, your tandems, slide your tandems. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not remember to do that? When I was in the truck with my trainer, we didn't do it often. I didn't understand the concept of tandems and how they worked and why. So I forgot. So I hurried up and pulled off and slid my tandems. And I was like, that's probably why I couldn't turn corners. And about a mile later, there was a weigh station, and it was open. And can you imagine if I would have went past? And I got called in. That would have been a really hefty ticket. So I definitely learned my lesson from that. And then when I got back to Vegas, I had to do a safety training type thing. I can't stay on here long because I have to go pick up a load. I'm gonna leave here around 12:30. So I got a couple of minutes left because I have to do my pre-trip. I can probably do it with you guys. But so I had to do safety training again. And basically, I have to do the cones, you know, drive around the cones, drive through the cones, back up around the cones, practice stopping in front of the cone without hitting it, getting as close as I can to the cone. That was hard. That was like getting out and looking and all that stuff. So he was like, you did good. Like, I understand why you hit the pole, because you were so focused on the curve, and you thought, and you knew you were gonna, you know, go over the curve, but you weren't. You were so fixed on the curve, you didn't look at the pole. And that's part of your Smith training, you know, never keep a fixed stare. So that was a learning experience for me. I got back on the road. I told my GM I did not want to go back to California. He sent me to Colorado. Got to Colorado, what happens? So let me tell you this little small story about, why did I do that? When I went on the road with my ex, we ended up in Colorado, and I totally messed. It was the worst experience ever, but that was intriguing, and that's why I ended up driving trucks. We broke down in Colorado. Her starter went out. Her alternator went out. I got sick. I ended up getting sepsis from an infected tooth. I thought I was gonna die. Ended up going to the hospital. Had to get my tooth pulled. It was terrible, right? So I had a bad experience with Colorado. We were stuck in Colorado for like 2 weeks, and I was late for school. School started, and I was 2 weeks late going to school. So now I go to Colorado. My truck breaks down. I bust a water hose, the hose to the coolant hose. It had a hole in it, or it was so much pressure, it popped a hole and it busted. So they had to come out and fix it. And I'm about to start my pre-trip. They had to come out and fix it. They came out and fixed it. I was back on the road, and then I break down again like an hour later. So I have to get towed into town. And it was like, I was on the phone with safety, with breakdown, and I was telling them that I broke down I know that the check engine light keeps coming on, and they were saying, you know, get to the next truck stop and have them fix it or whatever. So I was 2 exits away from the truck stop when I broke down and had to get towed. And I was there for about a day and a half, and I was back on the road, right? And then I broke down again, had to get towed back. So I got towed back, and this time I was on the road. I mean, I was there for like 3 or 4 days, and it was terrible. But I got paid, layover pay, or something like that. And then I was back on the road. Where did I go after that? I went a couple of places. Then I ended up going back to Vegas, because I had to get my truck serviced, my B service. And I came back to Vegas. I reset in Vegas. Then I went to Tulare to get my truck serviced. And then I was there for like 3 days. And then I got discouraged a little bit, because while I was on the road with my trainer, I had a couple of problems happening at home and financially, and I thought I was going to have to get off the road. And Knight helped me out, and they were really helpful in instrumenting, you know, being hospitable to me and helping me out. So I had like paycheck advances, payday loans, and my Squire training coming out of my check, on top of being broke down and the service. My checks were like $100 to $200 a week. So I was like, dang, you know, I made a video saying how I was discouraged and I might have to go back to drive for Uber for a little bit so I can stack some money and pay the bills, so I can, like, I want to be a month ahead. I want to pay my bills a month ahead, so then I have that month to save my paychecks from Knight or whatever. And everybody thought that I was going to quit trucking. No, I'm not quitting trucking. I know there's money in it. It's just, it wasn't in my favor right about now. So right after I made that video, the next day I got paid, and my paycheck was awesome. Like, oh my goodness. It was all miles. It wasn't layover pay or anything. And needless to say, that check helped me pay my bills, and I have spending money. So that boosted my confidence. It let me know that there is money in trucking. Knight pays pretty well. I only had 4 loads on that paycheck, and it paid great. So imagine if once I get rolling, right, and everything gets in the works, I should be great. So I ended up going, so after Tulare, here I am in Washington, my 30 days, and I will be going home. I'm on my way to Vegas. After I pick this load up, I'll be taking it to Vegas. I gotta do my home time, pay my rent, look after the kids and see what they're doing. Probably buy them some fireworks. I might do my hair. I'm not sure yet. I gotta get Bear immunized. He needs his heartworm and flea and tick and all that stuff. And then I'll be going back on the road. So I might do another 30 days, because this first 30 days really didn't count because of the breakdowns in the service. I didn't really have a chance to drive like I wanted to. So this 30 days I am going to run hard. I will report to you guys everything that I encounter. I want to try to go live more often, especially during my day when I'm driving. Not while I'm driving, I won't do that, but when I encounter stuff, like if I'm at the shipper and I can't find it or something, whatever I encounter, I want to share my experience with you guys so you know what it's like being on the road. If I do go live while I'm driving, it might be, I won't talk probably, I'll just drive. I need to get another mount so I can be able to show you guys the road while I'm driving, so you can see what I see, because I see some awesome stuff. Like, I'll show you guys where I'm at right now. I'm in Washington, but look at what I'm looking at. It's beautiful. This mountain looks bigger than it really is. So, and I decided to get dressed up for y'all and made up. Well, not really dressed up, but you know, I decided to get made up for you guys. My first 30 days at night transportation. I like the camera better this way. So, let's get out real quick. Cause I'm leaving at 12:30 to go pick this load up. So I'm gonna get out real quick and do my pre-trip. Let's check everything. Check the hood, under the hood, make sure everything is good under the hood, and you probably won't be able to hear me really well because it's loud. So everything looks good with that. Check my trailer. Good back there. Just make sure. Check my tires. Everything looks good back here. I'm really checking my brake drums and stuff because I don't want to have an issue. And I'm checking my brake pads, U-bolts and leaf springs and leaf spring hangers and cotter pins and all of that. I can't really see the cotter pins though. Oh yeah, I see it. Everything looks good back here. I can't really get that close. Well, I have to squeeze through here. Check these tires. I don't like the way this looks. It looks kind of worn, but there's a lot of tread depth, so I'm good. Tires look good. Trailer looks good. Everything looks good. I got like a 15-hour ride. The trip from here to Vegas. 15 hours. I'm almost out of fuel. And I'm like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from a Love's. So yeah. It's 12:25. We got 5 minutes. So let's reach our comments before I go. Let's see. Thank you, Moochie. Hey, Ronell. You just joined. You love it so far. When did you start? Good. It's fun. Thank you. Yeah, I know it is fun. Thank you, Sheila. Stay away from the Volvos. They're small. I know. We have the newer Volvos. I think 860s or something. Good afternoon. I'm good. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know about the 40 feet. Hello everybody, out enjoying this nice day. Finished busting, grabbing, crabbing, etc. Night is good. Hey Red. Daryl Manning, night is good. There are not really good companies. You just need to know the reason you work for the company if it's a match with your expectations. Like I said, you're doing a good job. Thank you. Yeah, she is doing a good job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys. So I'm about to be on my way to just get this load. Move, Bear. Move. Let me continue my pre-trip. 69701. I always forget my trailer number, so I put it right here. I never remember it. 69701. Everything is good with the trailer. My pre-trip is complete, and I have completed my first 30 days at night, and I still believe that it is the best company that I have chosen for my expectations. I believe that I have made a great decision working with Night. I don't say for, I say with, because they treat their drivers like family, and we're like working together. So yeah, I'm still happy with my decision. I'm glad that I chose Night, and I can't wait to see what happens from here. Like, I'm excited to see what kind of money I make, where I go, what I see, who I meet, and yeah. So thank you guys for joining me. I gotta go. It's 12:28 out here, so I have to head out. They open at 1, and I think it's only like a 5-minute drive, but you never know what I'm gonna expect with traffic and all that. So I'm gonna leave now, and when I get to a truck stop, not this one, but I want to get to a truck stop and try to buy. I was gonna buy a mount yesterday, but it was a brand that I'd never seen before, and I feel like if there was something wrong with it or if it broke, I couldn't go return it because I'd never been to that truck stop before, and I'd never seen that mount before. So yeah, I'm gonna get a mount for sure, so I can let you guys see the road, and maybe we will. Thank you, Brandon. I'm 5'7", and maybe I can, you know, show you guys some stuff. All right, y'all. Well, I'm logging out, and I will catch up with you guys later. I'll probably do a video tonight. I plan on going live. I plan on it every night. Every night I plan on going live and talking to you guys. So I'm starting my 14 or 11 hour clock right now, and I probably won't be going live until I get to a truck stop and get another mount. If I don't get a mount, you won't see me until tonight. It'll probably be late on the East Coast. I'll probably stop around my 8-hour mark, which would be what, 8 tonight, 11 o'clock East Coast or something like that. So just look out for me today, and like this video, share it, tell everybody. If you have questions, let me know. I was reading some comments about what I should do a video on, and I actually forgot what what they said. Hold on. Because I might do my next video on that. I don't like how this app is. Because it doesn't let me. It's different. Oh. Okay, so somebody asked me if I'm not in it for the money, what I'm in it for. It's a hobby, basically. It's fun to me. I like to drive. I like to explore. I like to see different things. I just happen to get paid to do it. But literally, this is really a hobby for me. I am going to go to law school and I will be an attorney. This is not my career. This is not what I plan for my life, and it's not what I'm going to do with my life. And if I do something with this, it's because I enjoyed it to the point where I feel like I have to. But going into it, I went into it as a hobby. What else? I'm reading comments. So somebody asked me, how do I manage childcare to allow myself to be on the road? And that is the biggest issue for women truckers. I'll probably touch on that in my next video. And the pay. I'm gonna touch on that too. So I gotta go, you guys. I will check back in once I get to a truck stop, if I get another mount. If not, then I'll see you guys tonight in about 8-9 hours. Okay? Signing out. This is DollFaceTrucker. Like, subscribe, share. Go to my Instagram, DollFace_Trucker. I'll see you guys later. Bye.